what's it like to go through spinal decompression therapy with the DRX9000. Oddly enough, I'm actually the patient as well. I've been dealing with back pain since I was about 15 years old. So knowing that my big toe is numb, I was like, I need to go get an MRI. So with the DRX, we have three main reasons that this DRX machine is substantially different than a traction table. So remember, this is a newer technology. There's huge advancements over traction that make this much more effective. So the last two treatments I've done have been to target this L5 degenerative disc disease that I knew I already had. What I didn't know until today, getting this MRI, is that I have a huge disc herniation at L4, which completely changes the protocol on the DRX. So instead of treating at 10 degrees of an angle, stretching on the DRX, and we're going to show you the treatment in a few minutes, instead of treating at 10 degrees for L5, we're actually changing the protocol to specifically isolate this L4 disc. So the goal here will be to more efficiently and more effectively stretch this disc problem to reduce the herniation, to resorb this extruded disc material that's literally crushing my nerve. So I can still walk on my heels. So this is a great test that you guys can do at home. If you're ever worried that if you have pain in the leg like sciatica, and you're ever worried about what can I do to sort of self-assess how bad it is, if you have an L5 nerve root problem like I have, the test would be walking on your heels, like literally walking on your heels like this. So as long as you can keep your foot up off the floor, that's great. If your foot slaps, and they call this drop foot, where the foot slaps down when you walk and it doesn't stay up, like you can't do that, and it slaps down, that's called drop foot. That's serious. And sometimes that does require surgery. We've treated a lot of patients that have come in that had serious problems just like this, who had drop foot and couldn't. So if you have an S1 problem, you can't come up on your toes, so you can't do a toe walk, like walking on your tippy toes, right? So if you can't come up and you just don't have the strength, that's from a different nerve. That's from the next level down. That's from a disc problem at L5, which compresses the descending nerve behind the L5 disc, which is called your S1 nerve root. That's the main nerve of the sciatic nerve. So L5 is also a part of the sciatic nerve. It's just a different nerve root component. So there's three main nerves of your sciatic nerve. So anyway, okay, so back to the MRI. So we've got this extruded disc material. That's what it looks like from the side view. And then we have a top-down view. So all of this, so it's very important on all imaging, whether you're looking at an X-ray or an MRI, that everything should look symmetrical. This is the right side, and this is actually the left side. So it's a little backwards from the way you would typically think about it. So my nerve root, my L5 nerve root on the right is right here. You can't see it on the left side because the disc herniation is literally covering it up. It's literally pushing it or displacing it. And that's why when you raise your leg up, when you have sciatica and you try to raise your leg up straight and it hurts, the reason is the disc herniation is coming out, it's pinching on the nerve as it hangs, and it's bending. The nerve is literally having to bend around the disc herniation. When you straighten the leg, it tightens the nerve root. So this is called nerve root tension, and it causes the nerve to have to push on the disc harder, which increases the pain. I don't have a ton of pain. It's really just the numbness. I have some discomfort, I would say, but clearly I'm not in a lot of pain. But obviously this journey, I'm obviously wanting to avoid spine surgery. Every doctor or friend of mine that I have sent this to, the first question out of their mouth was, "Hey, are you going to get surgery?" And I was like, heck no, not if I can help it. All right, so this is called the pelvic harness, as it's so aptly described here. So this just goes around your pelvis this is where the main stretch is going to be applied through the spine. This initially just gets put on sort of snug just to, keep it on you so you can get on the machine. And then we really cinch it down once we're on the table. So he's just making sure it's properly positioned. The ring on the bottom is actually what gets attached to the DRX. And then we have this upper torso harness that goes over the torso to hold your upper body in place on the table, while the lower part is literally stretching. There we go. And it's just a Velcro strap, basically. So we'll come over and hop on the machine. So now he's actually programming the treatment on the DRX. So the last 2 treatments I've treated at 10 degrees for L5. Now that I have the MRI, we're going to be treating at L4, which is 15 degrees. So it's a 15-degree angle to the spine. So last time we did 55 pounds. I handled the stretch pretty well. I'm right at 200 pounds. And so the maximum treatment, we would probably treat a 200-pound patient is about 110 pounds. I had never been that high on the DRX. I generally will tell patients more is not better when it comes to this treatment. So we're not trying to stretch the heck out of your spine. We're just trying to stretch your spine enough to reduce the herniation, to get the herniation to resolve. All right, so he's kind of undone everything. So he's just repositioning right at the pelvic bones so that the pelvic harness is in the correct place. And then now is when it gets tight. So if you didn't think you had to pee before you got on here, when he tightens this up, you'll know it pretty quick once this pelvic harness gets tight, because it is pushing right on my bladder. Yeah, so that is way tighter than my wife got the harness on Sunday. All right, so then the machine is very comfortable. Obviously, just lying on a padded table, you can see the design. So now my legs are relaxed, so your feet are elevated, your back is flat on the bottom. And then you can see the design of the DRX here, where we have a split table design. So the bottom table floats on a ball bearing rollers, basically. It's extremely smooth action, so that it literally glides without hardly any resistance at all. And that's where, of course, the stretch happens in the spine. So the pelvic harness is attached to the D-ring and the D-ring into the DRX. And then now he's going to turn the machine on. We've programmed it for 15 degrees. We can do 60 pounds. So we're going to do 60 pounds. So now he's ratcheting the top harness tight so that it holds my torso in place so that I don't move. And then now we're going to take the slack out of the straps, and we'll be ready here for some decompression in just a second. So it's important to note that the computer controls the entire stretch with the machine. So what it's doing is it's checking itself 16 times every second to make sure that my body is not fighting the stretch. Your muscles in your spine are so tight, and they're so strong, I should say, that they can literally resist the stretch. So if your body is fighting the stretch, we're not doing you any good. So this is why the DRX was designed to have a biofeedback mechanism to be able to sense any resistance away from the normal stretch. So if it senses that you're fighting or guarding the stretch, it automatically reduces the treatment load to keep you relaxed, and then it will start pulling again. It'll start pulling again once there's no resistance to the stretch.